Hey guys, I'm Virginia Yvette.
And I'm Sam.
And it's time to talk. Today's topic is pretty much a heavy one, so just want to make a disclaimer that, if it's too much for you, I don't know. But this is just our views on the topic and, just have an open mind.
And don't watch with the intent to then come and try to argue.
Time to talk is all about talking about things that are uncomfortable at times. It's not about like sugarcoating anything, and especially as women, we want to address good things, bad things, in between things. So, yeah, just have an open mind. Topic
is pretty much about abortions and should women get them?
Should women get abortions? Okay. You want to start this one off? Because I need time to marinate.
No.
Come on, okay. Samantha.
All right, so should women get abortions?
How do you personally?
Personally, for myself, of course, personally, no. But I'm speaking for myself. Now, I do understand there are various circumstances that will lead a woman to get an abortion. So I'm completely understanding of that. But for myself, it's not something that I would do. And I would never bash someone who actually goes through that process. Actually, no, I take that back. Let me edit it a bit.
I know where you're going. Yeah.
I would bash people that abuse that whole thing, that use that method as a what is it?
A means to a way to. You mean like
as a
dealing with
preventative measure? Yeah, they use it oh my god, what's the term?
I don't know, bitch.
As a form of contraception. Wait, what?
Oh! After the fact, I was gonna try to read your mind.
Contraception.
It's not contraception if it's already conceived.
No. Right. You have Plan B,
right.
Condoms,
right.
for males and females, right. and different birth control methods.
Right.
They use that as one. That's what I'm saying. So not anything about conception, but contraception. I think that is the word.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get at is the whole idea of contraception is the preventative of
pregnancy.
The pregnancy, whereas with the abortion, it's already there, so you're not you didn't contracept it, you didn't block it, the sperm got to the egg.
Well, you know what? The way they're looking at it though is since the child
not going
out
through
there,
with the full term. Yeah. Right. Not going. Okay. So
those I would bash them.
And
why?
Yeah. Because
you're abusing something. This is okay, there are people who they've gotten abortions for whether or not they've been raped, for health reasons, so on and so forth. I've heard of so many females, even though some, that they've had 3-4 abortions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In that case,
I think every female knows someone who's probably been through, multiple times. And it's do you learn your lesson? What are you doing in the steps to prevent it from happening to where you have to go through something like that? Yeah, so.
Yeah, and before I go further on my whole thing with that, Gina could share her.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty much kind of the same as what she said, but a little bit different. I will say that I've always been pro-choice only because that it's an individual issue, right. Depending on circumstance. I personally, and for me, it doesn't even matter the circumstance. I don't think I could go through with something like that. Like, if you even notice, I'm even talking a different, because I'm very nurturing kind of type of person. So I couldn't. Well, let me talk. I couldn't personally go through it, but I do support, you having the right to
Do what you want with
have
body.
your own decision. And it's your body. Do I really think women should? No, only because, again, depending on the situation, but honestly, it can be very damaging to your if you're someone that actually does want kids, but it's just not the right time now, and it's what you feel like you have to do. Just know like the risk, and just like how you take medicine, side effects. And there's a lot of side effects to it that I feel a lot of women are not really educated on. And so when they do try and they either maybe miscarry or there's something wrong with being able to carry, maybe they have to be on bed rest for the longest time, and it can be damaging. So I put that in there too, that it's, for me, it's not worth it enough. But again, I'm not a mother, so I haven't been through it, so I can't.
Not only that, like a lot of females, they don't take into account the psychological.
It's very
effects.
psychological, yeah.
Like there is one person I know that, actually mine is more than one, but there is one person in particular I know against abortions, but because of her circumstances, family stuff, she ended up getting one.
Mm-hmm.
And we would be in the middle of a conversation and she just started
Bawling, yeah.
Then she would tell me, oh, she has dreams, and then dreams just hear a baby crying and crying. Like, it's something that really messes you up. And then on the other side, it's like, I understand different circumstances, but the way I see it, and being that I believe in God, no matter what the circumstance is, if that child was meant to be here, that child, like no one should intercept and interfere with that child coming to life. Get what I'm saying? Because you could actually go through that pregnancy and not reach full term, probably miscarry or what have you. But if God intended for you to have that child, you shouldn't try to interfere. Seems like I'm kind of going in.
I mean,
because it could be your only child ever.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but a lot of people can probably counteract and say, like how you said, if God meant for the child to be here, let it be here, basically. But then by them going through the procedure, someone can say, well, they weren't meant to be here. Because the simple fact that a lot of people say, well, God already knows what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's already like the plan is already planned out. So maybe it was a lesson for the woman okay, this guy wasn't good and this happened and she ended up going with it. And you know what I'm saying? Like there can be a counteraction to that.
They can definitely counter it. Anything can be countered. But this is the thing. We all get like a choice from it. It's not like I was like, oh, this is a set plan. It's like you have two roads. And certain shit's created on one road, certain is created on the other one. If you decide to go down this road, is a certain amount of shit lay ahead on that particular street that's not on this one. So why you go ahead and not be like, okay, I'm not gonna interfere. That's what she wants to do. Okay, let her go ahead and do it. But then, of course, you have your consequences, and a consequence might be, all right, 5 years later you want to have a kid, you can't have a kid. You get what I'm saying? So we don't know what the future holds.
I get it.
Yeah, it's like,
I get it.
And as I was saying, like Gina said, though, people can counter what I just said, and by all means, go ahead. You guys have the right to do so.
Exactly, yeah.
But then it's like when I think of the situation where I know someone close to me, who is raped, right? Got pregnant from that rape, and she chose not to have an abortion. She had that child, loves the child no differently from her other kids. So it's like at the end of the day, we all have choice. I guess it boils down to how strong we feel we might be and
or if you
values we might have.
But see, a lot of people think about also that support well, you know, they think about like the future before, but that's basically what you're saying is like you don't know the future. But let's go on to also like the pressure from men. Let's talk about basically how guys play into the role of even getting to the decision, because I feel like there are a lot of women that really don't want to do it, but they might feel like some type of pressure. Guys, you have a lot to do with this too. I mean, I feel like sometimes they're just as much to blame because it's like they don't want the kid in their life, but yet you're doing all the steps to create a kid and to, I mean, like, why not? I don't know, and like pressuring. I don't know.
I disagree with Gina on that.
But everything plays into the final decision. You know what I'm saying? Like emotionally.
But no. So with alright, the reason I disagree with Gina on that is because at the end of the day, yeah, it's just at the end of the day, if you as a female decide to have sex with a guy, whether or not you were fooled into thinking he loves you, you know, White House, picket fences, all that greatness, you made that choice. And women should always keep in mind that, yo,
that's your
if
baby.
I get pregnant, that's me and that baby. Dude can always up and leave. It's gonna be me and that baby, regardless. If that's not a thought you're comfortable with, then you probably just should not be having sex. Because that ending is a possible outcome.
Yes, I get that, and I don't necessarily disagree, but I guess I'm just a little bit more lenient on the fact that, you know, I've seen it, I haven't been through it, and I know a lot plays into women's thoughts psychologically. At the end of the day, yeah, it is their final choice, but a lot of times, realistically, you do let the other influence play into that, you know, that final choice. So it's almost like, I'm not saying like it's just, oh, the man's fault. The man, you can never say, oh, he made me. Well, people do say that, you know, well, he made me getting aroused. You know, there are situations like that where, you know, I just seen something with my mom where it was forensic files or something like that, and he didn't want the baby, or actually got married to somebody else while the other one was pregnant and wanted her to get rid of it, and she said no. So they ended up working out the relationship, and he happened to be a doctor, and he would make her drinks and put a stomach ulcer medicine in her drinks to try to abort the baby without her knowing. So it's like, you know, you can be strong. Like it's so many like circumstances, but I just don't want to be so, you know, put my foot down just to say, well, you know, just put it all on the woman, because there's a lot that plays into it happening.
But Gina, that situation you brought up, that's a completely
but I
the
mean,
rest of them.
There's really fucked up stories out there.
No,
that
but
you'd be
clearly
surprised.
those are the exceptions. You know,
just be smart about it and protect yourself the best way you can, and like don't
use it as some type of
retaliation.
Right? Don't.
It's a tough topic. It's not something that's
really
easy
is.
to talk about because, you know, contrary to popular belief, this happens a lot in just the female community, period, let alone maybe the Black community. You know what I'm saying?
From younger,
younger girls, and yeah, you know, you have teenagers, and you have the influence of your parents, and what do they do? You know what I'm saying? So it's broader than there's a lot that goes. There's levels. There's absolutely levels, but of course, the main thing to do is to be smart about it from jump. Yeah, and really think about, you know, what they always, a friend of mine told me, because, you know, I'm at that age where, you know, I'm seeing other people having kids, and I'm like, oh damn, what's wrong with me? Like, can't find nobody. But she told me, she was like, you know what, Gina, at the end of the day, a man can always leave you, when you're ready to have a kid, you're gonna be like, I'm having my baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I really want to encourage people to think about. Like, it's your baby. Mommy's baby, daddy's baby, like they always say, even though I always hated that term because it sounds so bad. But, you know.
And think about your other options besides abortion, like adoption and so on.
But see, that's also very traumatic too, because then you go full term, you have that
But some people are
experience,
still just ready to give
and
it
then
up.
have the baby just ripped from your.
I mean,
your
honestly,
arms.
having an abortion is
The
and you could
same
have-
thing. Yeah, I see what you're
and
saying.
you
The
could
same
have
thing.
open,
But then the kid is a.
but the kid will be
Yeah,
in someone
good
else's.
hands.
Yeah, because you know they have to do thorough
It's just
research.
just thinking about it just gets me like
Yeah, guys,
so
please
tense.
share your views
share
on
your
it.
thoughts and especially like even at if you're open enough, do you know somebody or have
Or
you?
if you've tried it.
And what's and there's no judgment here. What did you go through? What made you feel like you had to do it? And explain to us, like.
And if you're someone that has had multiple abortions, I would honestly like to
That's
hear
more
from
so
without any form of judgment. I would seriously like to hear from you as to the reason, because of course everyone has different reasons. So I don't want to jump the gun based on people I know that they were just honestly hoeing.
Yeah, because I think you're just basing
And
it off of
abortions.
what you
Right.
know, personal.
Everything we talk
again.
about is really
Personal,
about personal
yeah.
experiences. So if you've had multiple abortions and you don't mind sharing your reason why you've had them, please feel free to reach out to us. Of course, you could send us a direct message here on YouTube.
Right.
Or, you could do Instagram and Twitter. But
True. Yeah.
yeah,
Tweet us or even send us a message on here. And I think I'm just feeling inspired to maybe find some links that talk about this and just leave it down below if you're actually battling this right now, if you're going through something like this and you need any kind of like encouragement or actually, just like someone to talk to or something, some type of
honestly, we're
support.
good people to talk to. I think we're
Right.
good to talk to.
Yeah. We'll leave that down below as well. Don't forget to like,
Comment,
subscribe,
share.
and follow us on our Twitter and Instagram.
Which will actually link and should be.
Yeah, she gonna teach me how to do it, y'all. She gonna teach me how to do it. But thank you guys for watching. We love you so much.
Bye.
Bye.